Now we go. Okay, let's stay with me here. Stay with me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Nope, nope, nope. Okay, sorry. Let me sit tight, sit tight. Let me get this sound check going here. Yes, sound, yes, sound. Can you hear me? Yes, we're back on. Okay. I knew I had it. I must have pressed the wrong button when when I clipped it on my shirt. All right, you guys. So tell me where you're coming from. Let's get this show started. Thank you for your patience. I want to see where everyone is coming from. I love it. I love it. Let's go. All right, you guys, I'm in Dallas, Texas. Live Your Life Destiny Conference. Now I am focused in all yours right now. Okay. Irvine, look me up if you're in Irvine. I'm in Newport Beach area, Costa Mesa. So we got to connect up and do some fascia maneuvers. No, yes, let's do it. Let's get there. And I invite everyone to come to the beach and get grounded by nature with me. I know there's been several. Raw has done it. Alan has done it. There's a lot of the Human Garage tribe that has. And that's what I do. I love getting grounded by nature. So, you guys, today I am going to dive into some cool stuff. We're going to dive into how to travel effectively, how to travel efficiently. And that's really important right now because when you get on these planes, it's just radiation all over you. So if you guys can see, I have a little undergarment on under my Human Garage shirt. So it has stitching on the shoulders and on the back, and it does a scapular retraction for my back. So it gives me better posture. It's a compression garment, so it holds my energy when I flight, but this thing's called IntelliSkin, IntelliSkin.net, I believe, another .net, and they actually, so Dr. Tim Brown, who's known as the beach doc, he invented it, and it's just, he was a kinesio, therapist, a taper, and so he would do the kinesio taping, and so he's like, why would I have to tape? He's taping all these professional athletes, and so he's like, why would I have to tape, them when they could just wear something? So he created all these undergarments that are just phenomenal for posture, for stability, for talking to the fascia system. So what it does is hang on. It cues in the fascia. It cues in the fascia and the nerves. And when I take this off, I'm standing up taller. Has the sound gone? Can you hear me okay? Oh, sorry, the mic tucked under. My bad. Thank you. I'm keeping an eye on the comments because I'm out of my element here. So the posture shirt has intelligence behind it. And you guys, on the requests, I'm going to take requests in about 15 minutes or so to join on. I just want to get through a few of these EMF topics and share this information with everyone first, and then we'll start having you on. And anyhow, so IntelliSkin, which I love, is one of the coolest products. So Dr. Tim Brown developed it. He has undergarments, he has bras, he has underwear for hip support, and then the posture shirts. And I wear them every time I travel. You'll always see me have like a fitted shirt underneath, because what's happening is it keeps my energy in, and then it keeps my posture, because these seats, they have bucket seats. So they're really challenging to fly in because your posture just turns to crap, and then you're getting dehydrated from all the EMFs. And so we'll get into that topic in a second. So when you're jumping on a plane, essentially there's over 100 some people on each plane, depending on the size of the plane. What we saw with one of our clients, her son got diagnosed with childhood diabetes. And it was pretty, well, Intelliskin.net is where you can find the posture shirts. So childhood diabetes was the diagnosis from too much EMF in their home. They had a really toxic home. It was just really bad. And so I'm like, you guys, you got to get out of here. You got to fix this. So they get off and they go to fix it. And they take a flight to Fiji, from California to Fiji, Southern Cal. And anyhow, on that flight, the mom's got her new smartwatch. And she's metering the glucose levels. Her son's sitting right next to her, 12 years old. So she's watching everything that goes in the mouth. And this is crazy because, the glucose spikes 200 points when everyone turns on their Wi-Fi. 200 points. So that was such a significant event. And along with that, her son got a bloody nose. So she's metering it, watching the timing of everyone turning on their Wi-Fi and seeing her son glucose spike 200 points and then get a bloody nose. And then she's hearing my voice in her head saying, this environment stuff is a challenge. That's what probably caused the diabetes, because your home was so toxic. And she's just beside herself. Well, then the second half of the flight, it's a long flight to Fiji, the son's still sleeping, and then half the people are still sleeping, and then the other half turn on the Wi-Fi. He gets a bloody nose while he's sleeping. So that was the moment where the mom calls me right when she got home and said, Justin, this is the craziest thing. This is what happened on our flight. We gotta get grounded. We gotta, get the grounding bags. I didn't travel with them. What are the protocols for traveling? And anyhow, and so, well, to back up, I saw a question about her home. We have airplanes flying by me right now. They had, in the port streets, there's a wealthy neighborhood, and the gas and electric company is like an Aaron Brockovich situation where they had improperly wired the homes, the junctions going in and out of the homes. So everything was cross-wired. So they had their house was surrounded. And so the milligauss just outside of their house and inside was 7 at all times. It should be 1 or below. Any normal home and neighborhood, you can't read more than 1 or 2 the most. And at least that's what I've read for years, is that it's a very low level. And theirs was really high. So the other part was, it was a brand new home, it was a smart home. And the other part is their dirty electricity was really high, like in the 1600 range, when it should be 50 or below on a Stetzer electric meter. So that was definitely a challenging part. See, we have another plane going by. Sorry about that, you guys. You'll see it in the background, kind of cruising slowly. I thought I had a good spot, but the planes keep just kind of strolling by. Now, the third part was that they had the wireless in the home. So their wireless signals were super challenging. So she had dirty electricity, bad wiring, and wireless challenges. All of them at the highest level. That's why the kid got sick after 10 to 12 years. That's my number for people getting sick with EMFs. So just so I know you guys are all listening, who all is EMF sensitive? Because I know that's a topic I want to cover. Who's EMF sensitive? So I want you guys to tell me that if you are and what your symptoms are in the chat while I kind of go over this stuff. So anyhow, this diabetes thing, obviously it's about an environment, and when you have a toxic environment, your body's going to adapt to it, and the glucose is one of the things that is affected. That's why you have your, the fascia, the blood sugar one for your ketones, for I think it's fascial fuel, if I'm not mistaken. Lisa, tell me if I got that wrong. But then the other one, and then we have MCT oil for athleticism.com, and just buffer the glucose like it's a medium chain triglyceride oil. So the glucose gets spiked, so it's a huge part of the environmental toxin. So EMFs, it's directly correlated to diabetes, and then Alzheimer's disease is type 3 diabetes, so it's directly correlated to that as well, and then all the others. So we got to look at our environment, everyone. We've got to start looking at our environment. All right, that's the huge thing. So what does my environment look like when I'm on an airplane? It's pretty crazy. You have, hundreds of people all on their devices, and they have Wi-Fi in the plane as well. Maybe you have a screen right in front of your seat, behind your neighbor's seat, and then also behind your seat as well. That's a lot. That's a lot of EMF all in and around you. So you have your screen, you have their screens, and you have your laptop right on you. Most people have wireless earbuds. And then you have your cell phones, your laptops, multiple devices. So many people are wearing the smartwatches too. Sit tight, 1 sec. And so anyhow, that's really why is because of so many signals. So you multiply that. So remember, when we're sleeping, our brainwave state is 1 or below 1 to 8 hertz or waves per second. The Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz or waves per second. So we rev really one with the earth, all right? These cell phones are 2.45 billion waves per second of a one-directional waveform. So 2.45 billion times however many devices are in your area. That's what we're really looking at right now. That's what we're looking at. So if you're having that in your environment, you're having billions of waves per second, up into the trillions maybe, depending on how many are on there. That's a daunting number. That's a crazy number. So that's what we really want to understand, is how do we interplay with this stuff? So as you know, I've talked to Gary in the past about some different things, and I used to get sick when I would fly, and now I'm doing, grounding procedures where I'm actually barefoot now. I'll show you my feet, and if you can see. And then I'm touching a tree. So the first thing I do when I get off the airplane is to get grounded. So I'm taking my measures into play and getting grounded, and it's really important. And that's what I want you guys to do as well. And the next step is, I'm not in trouble, don't worry, they're just walking by. And the next step is to build your life force up. So I think my fascia was really dehydrated a couple years ago when I was flying without protection, without the grounding bags. And that was a crazy thing. So now I'm flying with grounding bags. Hang on 1 second again. So the grounding bags really help when I was flying. So before I came into the fascial maneuvers and would get the grounding bags going, I actually, I had the mini in my pocket, but I didn't have as many as I needed. I needed way more. So I needed about 3 to 5 grounding bags when I traveled because I was so sensitive. Today I only had 2 on me and 1 in my bag. And what you do is I put them on my sacrum, and then sometimes I'll put 1 on the front side. So I'm having basically the signals, that are coming in, my power center of my body is getting basically completely normalized because I'm creating a coherence with the grounding bags. Now, what we want to do also is build our life force up. So if we can, what is a grounding bag? Okay, you guys, so let me back up a sec. So I'm Justin Frandson, EMF Rocks, emfrocks.com founder, and athleticism.com. So we're the brand partner for Human Garage. And so what we're doing is we're sharing all about our environment and how we interplay with it and how it affects us. And that's the big thing with this, especially an airplane, and when you're getting stressed out on an airplane. You gotta understand how this interplays with our environment and what's going on with us. Okay, so that's why we're talking about this, that's why we're going over this, and that's who I am. So anyhow, I'm looking for a good setting for this tripod. There we go, because I'm on an uneven surface. Now, I can build my life force up now, like Gary says. He doesn't need as much protection anymore, or if any, he just can convert it. But most people are compromised. Most people don't have that vitality. Most people don't have that life force going for them. So what we do is we say, travel with some grounding bags. So what I want to see is to actually, the grounding bags, when you're going through TSA, they're hand mined crystals. They have moisture and magnetic properties. So the magnetic properties of them, they'll look like a metal ball in an X-ray. Kind of like if you did selenium or taken through it, it'll look like metal going through. So what you got to do is take the inner brown bag out, and you normally never open them, but you take the inner brown bag out of the decorative cloth and the silver static bag, and then you put them in their own tray. And you say, I have crystals, and you let the TSA agents know that you have crystals. And when you do that, you'll actually, they'll look at them and go, okay, they're just crystals, and then you'll be fine, you'll get to go right through. If you keep them the way we deploy them, sealed, and just as is, which you're supposed to have them, but not to travel through with them, they're gonna stop you. They're gonna stop you, and they're gonna make a big fuss out of it. So what we wanna do is have you, we have you actually take them out and then go through that whole protocol. And once you do that, you're gonna start to see everything. You'll be able to get through really quickly. You won't get hassled through TSA because they're big at hassling people for no reason. That was the Patriot Act, by the way, for anyone who want to know. That was the first time that our freedom was chipped away, was the Patriot Act. The fear of flying was instilled. And I'm all for proper protocols, but it's a lot nowadays, and it's too much. And now they're doing facial recognition and all that just to fly and all that stuff. And so there's some good to it, but there's a lot of freedom chipped away from it as well. So anyhow, once you get the grounding bags, tap on them again. Just tap on them, and they will, here, I'll grab one for you. Once you grab it, tap on it, it'll activate the properties in them, and then you could put them back and reassemble them just this way. And then, so I kept this close to me on the flight, and then I'm doing my grounding protocol right away. And then I'm off to a big conference where I'll be exhibiting, speaking, and treating clients just all day long. Hang on. Airplane. So that's really important when you're flying. But just the recognition of kids having iPads over their reproductive organs. Remember the telomeres in our body, they act like antennas on our skin or through our body, where we're absorbing so much more radiation. And there's certain areas that even absorb more. Your eyes, teeth, thymus, and intestine areas get really G-charged from it. But the women's ovaries are like antennas. They absorb 10 times the amount of radiation than any other part of the body, and they don't reproduce them. So you got to really look at where you're putting this stuff, and guys' sperm counts plummet. So if you're looking to actually have some success with fertility, you're going to want to make sure that you're not putting an invisible stressor over your reproductive organs. It's that simple. I mean, we got to really look at it. So why is shungite? Shungite's great. Shungite, amethyst, black tourmaline, all the other known crystals, they have magnetic resonances, but they don't have the moisture content in them. So they're lacking the moisture, and that's what our grounding bags have. The combination between the two make it exponentially stronger for EMF protection. So shungite will just get overrun really quickly. They'll just get overrun. That's the challenge with this. Now, we saw people, the other thing with flying is pretty crazy is, this flight was during the morning. I mean, I got up early, but got up at like 4 something and to fly. And you don't see a lot of people reading books anymore. Everyone's on their phone, and these are colloid crystals. Everyone's on your phone, and then you have, they're doing the digital, phone, or the digital parts where they're actually the books, the Kindles, the electric books. So they're reading it on something that's a device. So what I would recommend is to actually have the product downloaded already. Just download it already, and then once it's downloaded, then you can actually not have Wi-Fi on, and you can still read it. So especially at night. So get your blue light blocker glasses, and then wear those, and then go ahead and read an ebook. And if you do have an ebook, I would put a Faraday bag between you and your lap on it, or a grounding bag even better, or both. But if it's a laptop, it's on your computer, put a Faraday bag underneath it to deflect it away from you, like we've talked a lot about in the other Instagram lives. And then use the grounding bags for the coherence. So the grounding bags create that coherence between you and your environment, which is so, so important. So let's start to really recognize this stuff. And you can do the same with the devices, the wireless devices, like the smartwatches. You can put those on airplane mode, so you're not having them on all the time, and it's not radiation on, and you still can wear them and use them. And it's not going to be as bad for you. Yeah, so EMF Rocks does have an Instagram page. It's at EMF Rocks. And you can get them on humangarage.net. And yeah, so I did. I hand-checked. I carried on several. But remember, I disassembled them. So go back to the beginning of this, and I talked about how we disassemble them and go through TSA successfully, because you'll get flagged. And then I carry a mini in my pocket, but before I would carry a mini, and it's just not strong enough. So I'm recommending 2 to 3 grounding bags on a flight if you're EMF sensitive. So I want to, again, ask people, who's EMF sensitive, everybody? Tell me, share your stories. My EMF sensitivity came from working in commercial real estate in college at an internship. And I would pull copies off the X-ray machine, and that's ionized radiation. My fingertips would burn from it, and so literally I would do that for months on end. And it was so hot, it's quick. I'd pull it off quick. I'd be like, if I do it quick enough, it's not going to hurt me. Well, sure enough, 30 years later down the road, and now when I touch a touch screen, I have nerve pain. It's like an acute sharp pain, and I'm like literally one of the most bullish guys. And high tolerance of pain that you'll meet, really high threshold, and but it's sharp pain. So I use a stylus most of the time, and then the other times I just kind of grin and bear it, and just kind of, so yeah, that's kind of how I got my sensitivity. So I want to hear from you guys, and we're going to have you request to come on in just a second. There's no other products out there like this on the market because they don't have the moisture content in them. So we're the colloidal crystals They're the moisture and magnetic properties in them, nothing else like it. And so, yeah, it's the way we mine them. It's the properties of the crystals. They're the purest form you'll ever find. They're hand mined. And then how we deploy them is why they're so exponentially good with EMF protection. And when you sleep with them, there's a sleep question that came up. I'm looking at the chat as quickly as I can while I'm talking. And when you sleep with them, put one on your bed, at the head of the bed, between you and a spouse and or your mattress and the headboard. So somewhere between your shoulders and then the mattress and the headboard, where you wouldn't bump into it at night. And because it's a little crinkly if you bump into it. But that, just one grounding bag, you'll get into those lucid dreams. You'll start sleeping deeper. Because what it does is it creates that coherence between you and your environment. And most of us live in an electrical filled environment that's full of toxicity. And when you can bring the nature back into your home, or bring the resonance of nature back into your home, what's going to happen is you're going to get into those deeper dreamlike states. Okay, so that's how the grounding bags work, is they help create that coherence between us and our environment. And if you have solar on your home, you're going to need 7 to clear 2,000 square feet, just 5 together if you have a regular house. And the mini grounding bags in my pocket here, the minis are for a pocket, a purse, a women's backpack, for on-the-go protection, and they're great for that. So, except when you're on an airplane, they're just not enough because there's too many signal strengths going. So you guys, I've just seen a me and a few others on what the sensitivities are. Keep sharing them, especially when the planes go by. So I want to hear. Now, the reason solar is so challenging is because it's a massive battery and it's storing the level of electricity you're requesting. So that causes static and sparking in the line. So you're going to have really high levels of dirty electricity. That's what's happening with that. And yeah, Lisa will show you where to purchase them. You can go to humangarage.net, yeah, obviously, and that's where the products are. And our website's emfrocks.com, and then all of our curated products are on athleticism.com. So I'm going to get to you guys in a second here on the requests. I want to go over a couple more things. And so here, I see the sensitivity burning my ear. Yes, like a microwave. That is exactly right. That resonance that you feel. And I choose to call people that can feel that. People say it's EMF sensitive, but you have a gift. And I want to acknowledge that gift of feeling energy. And if something's not enhancing, you can feel it. It's really important to understand that. That's a huge, huge thing. So you have a gift of feeling energy. Sometimes when it gets overrun, yeah, tingling, if you have that, I feel that too, but I get nerve pain. That'll turn into nerve pain, the finger tinglings. So sometimes when the sensitivity gets too overrun, what happens is there's layers of toxicity that you want to flush. The way you flush them is by, number one, fascial maneuvers, getting hydrated, and then doing the supplements for Human Garage's recommendations, and then also bentonite clay, protease, which is a proteolytic enzyme, a digestive enzyme, and I believe Biooptimizers has a good one. And then also, then you could get, or Cellcore does too, a CT-zyme, and then also apple cider vinegar. The 3 of those will allow you to have really great success with clearing the toxicity out internally. So what we do is externally is tap on it. You tap on it and cover your eyes, then your teeth, then your thymus, which is your upper chest, and then your intestine. And that'll help flush externally. And then internally, you want to take those supplements. So that's how it all happens. And once you can clear the toxicity out, you're not going to be as EMF sensitive. So that's the protocols we use them. And the tingling in the hands, it's just levels of toxicity that you've built up over the years, maybe more sensitivity because you were near a transformer and it wasn't just from a direct source like I had from pulling, radiation off an x-ray machine. All right, I have a few requests I see coming in. Let me see. Tom. Going here. So I wanted to jump into electric cars too before we get off. Tom, if you're still there. Hang on, I'll answer the Corolla. 1 second. Ooh, that's a smaller plane. Oh man. Yeah. So a couple things. Okay, I have a few questions I wanted to answer, but Tom's here. How you doing, Tom? Can you hear me okay?
I can, Justin. Thank you. I
Okay.
I spoke to you on the phone, and
Okay.
so thankful that you're doing this weekly because EMFs have really impacted my life. I learned about them in Colorado when I lived there for 9 years. I'm in Chicago right now, where I lived most of my life. And when I was in in Colorado, a friend of mine was going into homes doing this work, protecting people. So I got knowledgeable. When I came back, I now live next to a cell tower. You hear okay? You have some background there, huh?
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought I was okay, but literally the runway's right next to me. I'm right on the runway where they're taking off. Sorry.
Yeah, well, one, I'm just thankful you're doing it. First of all, it's really important. And I had a few questions for you. One, I think I know the answer is I bought a healing pad many years ago called a pulsed electric magnetic frequency you plug in. My friend said, don't use it. And I imagine that's what you're going to sell. I'm going to sell it, I think. I just wanted your opinion. They're healing pads, but they use electricity to
Yeah,
generate.
is it a PEMF pad?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so this is really important to understand. When you're using devices like that, they're great for quick jumps and jump starting your nervous system or jump starting the healing or getting things moving. They can really be beneficial in a lot of like a TENS unit. PMFs can be great. It's more getting north-south charge going, but you want to be grounded while you're doing it with a grounding bag, but you only want to be doing it for a limited time. So it's not a mechanism to sleep on for durations, and it's not a mechanism for extended, type of EMF protection. There's a huge difference between EMF protection and huge difference between EMF protection and a product that will jumpstart your nervous system. So I love sound beds. I love, PMFs are great. There's so many Rife units, all this stuff. There's all electricity involved with them. They're great for short periods of time. So they're fantastic for it. It'll take people out of critical states really quickly. But we don't want to use them for EMF protection. It's the same like a grounding sheet, where if you're plugging it into the wall, that's charged to the level of the outlet. You don't want to have that while you're sleeping
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. So they're okay for short, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. They're
Oh
okay.
yes, that's where they're best at.
Where would you put the grounding bag on your body while you're laying on the pad?
Oh, just rest it anywhere next to
Yeah.
you. People put it on their stomach, next to their head, wherever you feel you want it.
I came back and I live in a condo right next to a cell tower. And so the amount of radiation, I have intense headaches since I came back from Colorado and just had retina surgery. I think it probably was impacted by living here for the past 6 years. Next to a cell tower. So I bought a canopy and I've been experimenting for the last half hour before you got on because I wanted to see. But I'm going to show you. I have a canopy, and I went into it with this meter I have. I don't know if you can see this canopy, but it's around my bed, and I have in the corner reading. And I'm not going to be on my phone anymore when I'm listening to Gary or doing this because my phone is ridiculous. I brought this inside the canopy. The amount of charge coming off my phone is ridiculous. Uh, I also I don't know if you can see those cell towers right next to the place, but the amount of energy I'm getting on this reading.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. So in that situation, you're gonna want to have uh, a canopy like that, or EMF paint or EMF tint. You gotta push those signals away from your living space because that is too close and too strong, and that'll
You know,
chip away you.
I put foil in the walls, and I just did the readings. And since it went to 5G, it's going through the foil in the walls and the
Yeah.
film on the window. The only safe place I got a low reading is in my canopy.
Yeah, the the cloths they're making are unbelievable. I've tested some of the EMF clothing, and you can't get a reading on the other side of them. So these canopies are legit. But see, the thing is, though, is we want resonances, and that's where these PMF things kind of came into play, because they were saying if we go out of our atmospheric pressure, we the basically astronauts or something, they lose their north-south polarity, and they were getting sick really quickly. So it's important to have that. So it's the same thing. It's for me as working with athletes, it's really important to have this interplay between us and our environment. And the way we do that is through these non-native waveforms. And we call them our proprioceptors. It's this play between us and our environment. And I use that analogy the best because I work with athletes. But if you know where your hand is in space, even when your eyes are closed, there's a reason for that. It's that we're feeling these electromagnetic, waveforms and particles, and we know where we are in space. If we take that away through a canopy, we lose the charges that we get, the benefits we get from it, even if there's not enhancing, and then we lose that whole interplay with our environment. So it's really, you gotta probably load up on grounding bags, I think, which you already did, but get those inside of that canopy if you're that stressed out, because you got to have the Earth's resonance in there.
I carry one. I bought one. I have a large one, a small one. I carry in my pockets, so I throw the large one next to my bed. Inside there, against the frame. So hopefully that is doing the trick. Well, I haven't painted the walls here, but do you think it's worth throwing? I'm only
Yeah,
such a lot.
you cut out a little bit, but I think I know what you're asking. Should you put paint and tint up? Yes, you should put paint up, and yes, you should put tint up, but only on one wall, only on the wall that's facing those stressors. Because if you paint all the walls, it'll make it really bad inside of your place.
Interesting. I'm almost thinking of moving though, because I'm picking up a large charge all through my condo. When I make readings, it's really intense. And I'm not sure if even living here would be worth to sell the condo and go somewhere else. Living
Well,
next to cell towers is
you're, I'm so grateful you came on today, because this is what the type of calls that I get all the time,
yeah.
where people are like, I'm living in a microwave oven is what it feels like. My house going just awry. And all of a sudden it just happened when I moved into this environment, or they put this thing up. I started not to sleep. This is so common, I can't even tell you. And that's why, I'm on every week, and so grateful for your voice to share this, because so many people need to hear about this. And this is where we're at, is we're voicing this whole topic of these invisible waveforms and how to coexist with it. And I swear, for me, if if it was that big of a stressor, I would move. One of the things with us, we still do have a transformer in front of our house. And after knowing this kid got diabetes and me having a child, I started testing the levels, and I had to cry wolf like a bunch of times to get them to fix the transformer. It was really dirty. They had to fix parts in it. And finally, after 4 calls, when it was raining, of me saying that they were sparking, that it would almost burn down my house, and threatening to sue the you know what out of them, they finally started to take a look at the transformer, and they ground it out. Now the dirty electricity in my home is like 150 on the GS unit meter, the Stetzer electric meter. It should be 50 or below. My old house was 350. So it's like, and 150 is super healthy. It just really, it should be 100 or below, I believe. For kids, it's 50 below. But so, and then this family that got diabetes, theirs was 1600. So if you're in that situation, I did the best I could to get the wiring right, and cried wolf as loud as I could and threatened and everything to get it, and I got it. And then, but you're in a situation where it's wireless signals. They're just going to broadcast. Once they find a spot, they're just going to keep on adding and turning it up and adding and turning it up. It's not going to get any better there. So if you're already feeling it, I would encourage someone in that situation to look at moving a different spot. And I feel there's going to be realtors out there. They're going to finally listen and go into healthy homes. Like, what's a healthy home? They've missed it, but I feel that's the next wave of realtors, is to really identify these things for their clients.
Two things I wanted to say, because I think will benefit the people listening. One is my friend is a MD, a medical doctor, who was struggling with a teenager who had Alzheimer's. A very sensitive soul, like I am, like you are. It's my gift and it's my challenge. But this sensitive soul, who's in high school, would get sick every time she went into the computer lab, really sick to her stomach. And so she went to a doctor, had all these tests, who was my friend, and finally he knew that I knew about EMF, so he referred her to me, and I just was giving her coaching and support. And she'd go to the lakefront. Mom would pick her up and take her to Lake Michigan here and get her away, and she'd be fine. And that's me. I go down to the lakefront and stand in the sand, and I'm okay. But I got to come home, and then I come home, and then I get hit hard. So just so, the schools, and I work with schools, I consult with schools, and, it's a deep worry of mine, because kids are bombarded with EMFs, and then they get anxiety, or they deal with depression, and they act out. Unfortunately, no one's really talking about schools, about the amount of EMFs and about 1/5 of kids are highly sensitive. 1 out of 5 kids are highly sensitive. And those kids are the kids who are getting hit hard in schools.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say it's a higher percentage than that now, just with the levels of stressors and Wi-Fi's, and then all the kids have their own devices now. I think it probably was that a few years ago, and now it's increasing. And my daughter's elementary school, I don't for so long. I donated products for so long, and that worked really well. But yeah, I would love to introduce it or talk to schools. And so parents out there that have kids in schools, let's let these be known, because if they're going to a religious school, we had a cell tower in the bell tower, which I think is evil. When you're connecting to God and you're saying, hey, everyone come worship, and pray, there's millimeter waves zapping the crap out of you. So I want to, now, not to say that the church will change it, because they make literally about $20,000 a month in revenue from a cell tower like that on up. So the revenue and their long-term contracts, the schools and the diocese just sees dollar signs. So it's a tricky topic, but hardwiring would be faster, safer, more reliable. We should go back to what we already invested a ton of money into do, which is hardwire. Kids shouldn't be walking around with laptops and moving all around and ADD like. And you're right, it's all causing cognitive challenges for the kids. It's very, very disruptive for learning. Enough for France to ban Wi-Fi in elementary schools years ago. So we just ignore a lot of the stuff, unfortunately. So that's what these conversations are for, is to really get people aware.
You know, the one other thing I wanted to is one that, vision. I'm curious. There's a lot of factors that contributed probably to my retina. I had retina surgery in the fall, which was really traumatic. And I'm sure there's a lot of factors that contribute to that. But I'm curious, you're talking EMF's
Yeah.
impact on vision.
Well, vision is one of the ones. So remember, when we do the tapping, we cover the
Yeah.
eyes. The eyes
Yeah.
are super sensitive, so you got to recharge the eyes. They lose their polarity, and the vision becomes disrupted for sure.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of it.
And
So
yeah, no, I am
yeah.
doing it. I'm doing a bag tap, and so I'm thankful to have a tool that feels like it, can help me recalibrate. So
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
yeah.
that. You guys grab the grounding bags, go through the tapping protocol, especially you with the eyes. Get the paint tint. SLT.co is a great place to get good quality stuff, and that works. And then use the grounding bags inside your canopy, and then get grounded by nature outside as much as you can, like I am, with this tree right here, and then being barefoot on the grass right after I got off a flight to Dallas. And so, yeah, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for what you do, and just so thankful Human Garage is giving you a voice, a platform.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, you guys.
Bye bye.
We'll see you next time. I'm going to see Brooke. Brooke, can you jump on here? Go ahead and just sign yourself up. There we go. And then I saw Brooke's been requesting for a while. Go live with Brooke. Let's see if we can get it. I only have time for one more quick live. And I think my phone's gonna die. So we're gonna end it when we end it. All right, Brooke. What we got here? Come on up. I almost see you. We want to see you. So next week I'm gonna go over electric cars. Anyone wants to talk about it? Next week's electric cars. Hello, can you hear me? Can I hear you? Hello, hello? Are you on live, Brooke? No? Hello, hello? All right, guys, Brooke didn't work out. So, not happening today. That was a loud one. Sorry. Southwest decided to do lots of airlines taking off right next to me. And so, you guys, we're just getting grounded by nature after getting off an airplane and sharing with you how to travel with the grounding bags and dealing with the noise. Here we go. One more plane. You guys, use the grounding bags on your lap. If you're going to use a laptop, take the mini with you. Travel with several of the full-size grounding bags. That recaps it for today. And you guys, let's get grounded by nature. Grounding sheet only 10 minutes. Grounding sheet, bueno. Grounding sheets are plugged into the wall. That wall is charged to the level of the outlet. Electricity runs on the outside of wires, not on the inside of them. So if you're using the grounding outlet for electricity, it's not working for your body. Sorry. Load up on grounding bags, not the grounding sheets. EMFrocks.com. That's nature's resonance. It's not a manufactured resonance. It's not using electricity not using the grid to ground you or anything like it. It's literally nature's way of protecting you. That's why Gary and Jason have absolutely loved this product. It has silica in it. It's nature's resonance in a bag. It's like walking barefoot in a bag. And yes, as a barefoot person, you're going to absolutely, really thrive with the grounding bags because you're bringing that resonance into your home. And most people's homes are full of electricity, unless you go to the extent that I do, excuse me, and turn your outlets off, your electrical, get a timer on the electrical panel at night and shut all the electricity off at night. Really, really important, you guys. Or just get outlet timers for your Wi-Fi and turn down the resonance. You can get a outlet timer at any hardware store for under $9. So, what is it? So I'm at a conference here in Dallas. I'll be traveling to Dallas pretty much. You'll see me here almost every weekend in May at different conferences. Yes, grounding bag, emfrocks.com grounding bag. Check it out at humangarage.net, and you can get them there, and they're to help you sleep and help you repel EMF. You guys, next week when there's not as much noise, not as much wind, and I am going to get more people on. I want to talk to more people who are more EMF sensitive and are living in those environments that are toxic, so we can show people and help people to figure out how to clear it and how to keep their vitality up, because your body's just going to keep getting dehydrated. It's not you're just hydrated once and then you're rehydrated forever. If you're in a toxic environment, you're going to keep on getting dehydrated. So clear the stresses out of your environment, then you'll be able to sleep, heal, and optimize and get into the Human Garage fascial performance maneuvers that will optimize your performance. Those are the next steps. You guys, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for bearing with me with all the noise and the wind today. And I'm going to sign off, sending you all infinite love and gratitude and the healing pulse of the earth. Get grounded by nature. Get outside. That's our nature. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.